In this episode of Hobby Talk, we have a plethora of topics to talk about, ranging from baseball to Pokemon to card shows, grading reports, even though we're basically in the middle of November, but just how the calendar worked. We weren't really able to talk about October's in our last episode, but we're going to be talking about all that and more in today's episode. But before we dive into any of that, pardon the disastrous background, but Ricky, good morning. How are you doing on this chilly fall morning?
Good morning. It's good. We just got our first snow a couple days ago, actually.
That's
I don't know. I don't know if you guys did yet, but yeah, good. Patriots are 8-2. They play tonight. Uh, Celtics are looking like they want the number one pick, which is great.
hell yeah. Might as
Uh,
well just tank a palooza.
Bruins are actually the Bruins are doing pretty well, no?
They're on like I last checked, it was a 6-game winning streak. I think it's now 7, maybe 8
Love that.
or 7-1 in their last 8. They were on a 6-game winning streak. They're playing actually surprisingly well. I mean, they're the ones that should be tanking, whereas the Celtics are the ones that should be playing at least decent, but it's the other way around, which is quite interesting.
Hey, we'll take it.
Oh, we'll take it for sure, especially here in New England. But I'm glad things are going well for you. Sorry about the snow. That's terrible to hear. I hate the snow per usual. But yeah, where should we start with today's episode? Because both of us vomited a bunch of different kind of topics to talk about. We'll dive into every single one of them. But where do you want to start?
Well, I brought up the Patriots, so it would be nice to talk about Drake May real quick.
All right. Where do you want to start with Drake May? That he's the best quarterback in football?
That he's the MVP favorite right now? Yes, absolutely.
Wow, there's no results shown for Drake May under the Card Ladder free subscription, free version. That's crazy.
He's definitely been selling.
But I can find Mac Jones cards though.
Oh yeah, of course. He's the next big thing.
He's playing well. He's playing well. That's okay. I mean, I think Drake May's really taking people's expectations and just really playing better than even the people that had the highest expectations. I am on record plenty of times, and I'm more than happy to wear it. I didn't think he was going to be this good. Now, obviously, that was me being speculative, but I've always said in buff of that I hope I'm wrong. I sat here and said I wanted Marvin Harrison. I didn't think Drake May was going to be good. Then they took Drake May, and I said, I don't know. I need to see more. I hope I'm wrong, but I need to see more. So I do think he is obviously playing extremely, extremely well. And he's played good against the Bills and the Buccaneers. But Ricky, those are the only two teams he's played good against. Everyone else has been dog water. You can only play who's on your schedule. I totally understand that. I just want to see more.
Some of the teams they played are dog water, but he played some good defenses.
That is fair. And the Browns, crappy team, but really good defense. Totally acknowledge that. I mean, the Steelers, the game that they lost, that was still a good defense. 5 turnovers, not all his fault. Some of them were. I think for me, personally, as a fan, before I dive all in on it, because let's not forget, 40 years ago, everybody did this with Mac Jones. I just want to see a little bit more consistency long term. So I want to see him finish this season playing well and not have a second half fall off. And I'd like to see him make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. Come from behind, win. Maybe you blow out the first round team, whatever it may be. Just don't look like crap. That's all I'm going to say. Otherwise, I've been proven wrong, and I'm more than happy to acknowledge that. I'm not going to sit here and shy from it.
And it's crazy because we haven't even had our bye week yet. Week 14. So they're 8-2. They're going to their bye week in a few weeks. They're going to be well rested. What's that, like 3 weeks before the playoffs?
15, 16, 17, 18. So they'll have 4 games remaining, and then we'll see where they kind of lay for the number 1 seed, which they're in contention for. They are in contention for.
And I think the last 4 games are Ravens, Bills, Jets, and Dolphins.
Brutal.
Or something like that. So that's at the very least 2-2.
You know, I just think back to, and, you know, not to cross sports, but I'll even kind of throw Wemby into this. You know, when you look back at the summertime, June, July, August, nobody wanted Drake May cards outside of, you know, core diehard fans, of course. Nobody wanted Wemby cards. But then once the basketball season started going and Wemby was playing like he was Michael Jordan in Wilt Chamberlain's body, and then you have Drake May playing, you know, at the extremely high level that he's playing. Now everybody wants him. It's just I repriced a bunch of my Wemby cards less than a month ago at this point, and they're all doubled in price. Drake May, I probably priced out maybe a month or so ago. The ones that I did have at the time, I repriced them, and all those ones were up. You know, it's funny to kind of spin this towards the market. Is a lot of people are afraid to pay market value when the market's down, which is kind of weird because people are more than happy once they've seen it. And maybe this is a psychological perception thing is, oh, I see he's playing good, so I'm willing to pay more because I see that he is playing good. Whereas I hope he's good. I hope that he'll play fine, but I don't want to pay for it because I don't know yet. Although we're hopeful. I don't get it. So now people have to pay double the price and what it could have been a couple months ago if they bought it then of a card of a player that they like instead of buying the hype that is now. If that makes sense.
I mean, I slept. I didn't get the Drake May card that I wanted. Specifically the red, white, and blue Prism PSA 10. I've been trying to get that. Whoop.
Sorry, that was bothering me.
What's that?
It is just an Amazon bag.
I
just didn't.
I've been trying to get the red, white, and blue Prism PSA 10 since like before the season started. Wasn't able to get it. But now that price is like
through the roof.
2-3x.
And I'll say this in regards to just any card for that matter, not Drake May, not Wemby. If there's a card out there, and this would be a great outgoing take of mine. If I remember, I'll reiterate it. If there's any card out there that you want, and if you have to pay market value for it, but you want it because you want to keep it, then just buy the damn card. If it goes down, it goes down. Oh, well, at least you still have the card to enjoy. But here in your case, Ricky, and I'm sure everyone's gone through this, if you miss out on the card and then you actually want to go buy it sometime later and it's doubled in price or it jumped up to the roof, well, now you're possibly priced out or you just can't justify that price. I think there's something to be said for the market.
Wait for the off season, but
could be a Super Bowl champion by then.
I know. Wouldn't that be crazy?
I think I would get so much flack thrown at me. And again, I'm willing to accept it and wear it.
Hey,
you thought Drake May sucked. Oh, you didn't want Drake May.
I would be throwing some of it for sure.
Deservingly so. Not all of my sports takes are correct. Most of them are. Not all of them. And I'm not going to sit here and be in denial that I wasn't wrong. And I will acknowledge that I was wrong if I am wrong. But I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon yet. Well, I mean, I'm on the bandwagon, but like I'm not going to like be blindly on the bandwagon. Like everyone was blindly on the Bailey Zappi bandwagon when he took over from Mac Jones. How'd that go?
At this point, I don't think it's blindly though.
No, but like it's such a small sample size of him playing good. Like it's like okay, out of the 8-2 record, he's probably played really good, like really, really good in probably 5 of those games. Or maybe
he had like a 8 game streak of 100 plus QBR and 200 yards and like touchdowns.
We're gonna get excited over 200 yards.
In today's game, yes.
Hold on.
Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl with averaging probably less than 200 yards.
All right. Yeah, but okay, so here we go. I pulled up the stats for you. I pulled up the stats. By the way, he has had a 100 QBR in all the games besides the first and the most recent game. So the game against the Raiders, I don't think he played well. They lost. I think we can all accept that. Game against the Dolphins, he had 230 and 2. He had an 82 complete percent passing. Oh my Jesus. Completion percentage. Dolphins, he had 102.1 QBR, but there was 5 turnovers. He had an interception and I believe a fumble as well. That they lost. He played fine, but I'm not going to say he played good. The Panthers game, he threw for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns in a game they won 40-0. Fine, I'll give you he played good. Bills game, 273 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Didn't win them the game, didn't lose them the game. Saints game, 3 touchdowns, 261. Awesome. The Titans, 222 with 2 touchdowns. Okay, really good. Browns, 282, 3 touchdowns, interception. He did get sacked 5 times by Myles Garrett. Not all his fault, but you have to be able to move out of the pocket. Falcons game, he played mediocre in. And the Buccaneers game, he played mediocre in. But he played good when it mattered. That's the big takeaway. You don't need to play well the whole game. You just need to play good when it matters. But I think his season stats, 255 and 2,555 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 71.7 completion percentage, 113.9 QBR. That's pretty good. That's definitely still something.
Great.
He's already passed for more yards this year than he did last year. He's already thrown more touchdowns this year than he has last year. Granted, he didn't start for the first 4 games, and he missed a couple games because of injury. But hey, kid's looking like a stud. But let's see it. Let's keep seeing it. How many times have we had studs that flamed out? Too many times. Too many times. But I think Drake May is it. What's that?
He can only control what he can control. We're only in week 11 of his second year.
Do you think he would have the same success if Gerard Mayo was still the coach?
Probably not. His team wouldn't. The whole team, the team as a whole wouldn't.
So is there a value added by Mike Vrabel?
Yeah, of course.
Could we also say that Drake May's success is being contributed by the coaching upgrade?
Okay, we were saying for 20 years that Tom Brady's success was to Bill Belichick, and look how that worked out.
That is true. I would say that at least Mike Vrabel is somewhat proven before he came here. Bill Belichick wasn't before he came to New England. And I think we all, as Patriot fans, want that dynasty to be half Brady, half Bill. I think we all want that, but I don't think it is. Now, there's no one without the other. I think without Brady, there's no Bill. Without Bill, there's no Brady. There's so much that goes hand in hand. But the stats without Brady for Bill do not look good. They do not. I think it was a right time, right place kind of marriage that just really prolonged. And that's what really led to the massive success between the two of them. Now, if you take out Vrabel and put in another coach, Mike McCarthy or Cliff Kingsbury, I'm just trying to think of coaches that were on the market. Sean Payton. Actually, no, that was a couple years ago. Similar success, I'd imagine, but anything's an upgrade over Gerard Mayo. I'm an upgrade over Gerard Mayo. I think I don't know if I could have Drake May playing as well as he is, but I could have him playing better than he was playing last year.
That's valid.
Just a little nugget there, a little asterisk next to Drake May's statistics. That
what?
Coaching upgrade matters. Coaching, it matters. Not a lot in his case because Vrabel's a defensive guy, but it matters. The wide receiver upgrade matters. Stephon Diggs has been a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
The offensive line, even though it's kind of still bad, also upgraded. So just a couple of tidbits to think about. Now, Brady always had a good team around him. I'm well aware of that. But Brady elevated his players around, his teammates around him. All right. What else about Drake May do we want to talk about? Is he going to win MVP, Ricky? Yes or no? That's the important question. Here as we sit,
It's
November
looking
13th.
like it. Like I said, he's the odds favorite right now.
I think it was between him and Daniel Jones. Jones might have slipped down. Imagine that, Daniel Jones in the MVP conversation. My God. I still think Jonathan Taylor's right there. I hate how the MVP is a quarterback award because it really shouldn't be. But I think at the end of the day, it might come down to Taylor and Drake May.
I think last that I saw, Jonathan Taylor was like top 3.
I thought I saw it was May, Daniel Jones, and Jonathan Taylor as like your 3, at least odds on favorite front runners. I know Josh Allen was in that mix. I know Mahomes was in that mix.
Yeah. Top 5 in order: Drake May, Stafford, Taylor, Mahomes, Josh Allen.
Oh yes, yeah. Daniel Jones had a really bad week last week, or bad couple weeks, so he's out. Stafford, that's a sneaky one.
Yeah, the Rams are great.
Wow.
I think we're gonna get a rematch. Will be the Seahawks or Rams in the Super Bowl.
The who? Oh,
Seahawks
rematch.
and Rams.
You said Seahawks
Patriots,
and
Rams.
Oh. I would love to see. I say this every year. I want to see somebody different in the Super Bowl. Like I want to all right, we've seen Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl a couple times. He's won. All right. We don't need to see him no more. We don't need to see Mahomes no more. We're fine there. Yeah, it'd be nice to see Stafford in the Super Bowl, but like no one's really talking about Stafford in the hobby like that. So what direction could that lead us? Well, nobody's talking about Sam Darnold in this hobby. So that would be interesting though. Sam Darnold winning a Super Bowl. Just for the hobby card market, just based on his past with the Jets and all that jazz. Wow. I can't believe that. I can't believe we're saying this. Daniel Jones, good quarterback. Sam Darnold, good quarterback. My gosh. All right. Let's talk about this grading report because there is some interesting information on here, Ricky, that I want to discuss. Just it's not crazy. It's not crazy at all.
Remember last week, Tag jumped into the picture.
Yes, Tag did jump into the picture, and they are still here. Tag is here to stay. PSAs encroaching 2 million cards. Don't know if that's entirely good or not, but it's a fact. CGC climbing over 500,000, continuously climbing as they inch towards 600,000. Beckett absolutely revived. Beckett is out of the grave. They're back like they never left. Tag, just a small 3% decrease, but year over year, an insane jump. 51,000 cards, still pretty impressive for Tag. And then you have SGC, basically on life support. They were what Beckett was, but I don't think they're going to get no rejuvenation. We've already gotten comments from collectors and PSA that they're not going to dump money into SGC. They're pulling resources away from SGC. It's a shame because people like them. They serve a really good purpose, I think, in the grading of vintage cards.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're not PSA. And they're going to value, at least collectors, are going to value PSA more than obviously SGC. But that makes no sense. Then why buy them at that point? Then why invest into them that way?
Buy out the competition.
I guess so. Maybe they were the only ones that were available out of all these. So anything here jump out at you? Crazy.
The Beckett revival is surprising.
I know we were just always dogging on them, like, oh, they're the fourth of the mix. They're gonna fall off. No one's grading with them. But clearly that's not true.
Plus 86% year over year. So what were they at? Like probably 50K at this point last year.
I will do a little research and I'll let you know. Let's see, gem rate.
I think over 500,000. That's crazy.
That's just July. I want to try to find Beckett's lowest. This might be them here. Their lowest. Oh, funny, a year ago. Well, November 2024. 34,000.
Wow.
So let me just give you the numbers from the graders almost a year ago. I'll share this tab real quick. PSA at 1.26 million, CGC 218,000, SGC firmly at 129,000. We were sitting here last year saying, "Oh, CGC is now the number 2, SGC is that 3," and Beckett fell off, and they were the 4th. Just down, 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 and then just up, up. SGC year over year has went up, but now you look at these numbers, a complete dramatic shift in the landscape, in my opinion, just based off of CGC really separating themselves, SGC falling off a cliff, Beckett coming back from the dead, and Tag really cementing themselves in the conversation.
I mean, that has to be heavily Pokemon driven, right? Honestly.
I'm just still scrolling. I'm in 2023 now, just looking at some of these numbers. But I'll definitely. So CGC really kind of implemented themselves as the number 2, probably in September of 2023. Prior to that, it was SGC firmly in the mix. And yeah. Okay. So what was your question? TCG. That's sports and miscellaneous. So 2,000 sports cards only. So yeah, it is absolutely TCG related. PSA is grading more TCG cards than they're grading sports cards, if you think about it. 703,000 compared to the 1.97. Just call it 2 million cards in general. CGC only 71,000 compared to the 530,000. Is it safe to say that more TCG, probably Pokemon, with a mix of One Piece, is the focal point of cards being graded right now? Because here's the numbers for sports, and then here's the number for, TCG and non-sports.
Look at that, like plus 126, plus 166, plus 173.
It's just plus.
I'm glad no one's grading TCG with SGC.
Thank goodness. And there's nothing wrong with SGC and TCG cards. There isn't.
Yes, there is.
I'm saying it because it's a personal preference that I don't like. I don't think it looks good. You don't think it looks good. Some people think it looks good. Why do people grade with Tag? Because they think it looks good. But yeah, it's firmly a TCG grading market. I'm trying to think of the word. I think that's the safest way to look at it right now. Because if you were to just take these numbers and just say, "Hey, Ricky, here's the numbers for the October 2025 grading report in general," these are realistic numbers to be looking at here. And that's just not even including in the sports cards. So the big takeaway for me is more and more people, clearly, based on these ups and ups, these plus percentages, are grading TCG and non-sports cards. We'll look at it further. It's probably mostly Pokemon than they are grading sports cards. It's just a fact with all companies.
Yeah. Well, Jesus. Well, this is why my TCG order is taking so long.
And Pokemon's clearly dominating almost all sectors of grading besides SGC, which is baseball for SGC, but we could probably assume that that's vintage baseball.
That's in the thousands, right? The number, obviously. Yes. Okay.
Isn't this crazy? Sorry, I'm just trying to write this down so I can talk about it in the description of this episode, because I'm just blown away. Nothing comes close to Pokemon right now across all grading companies. Well, at least these 5. I mean, even Beckett, 65,000 65.7 thousand Pokemon cards. 10,000 basketball, 7.6 thousand football, 7,000 baseball. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, PSA is just 1.2 million Pokemon cards. Sports aren't even at 250,000. Well, baseball's not at 250,000, but you add them all up, what was it, like 700 some thousand? We're in a completely different landscape, I think, for grading. I mean, you look at this report. I'm just gonna look at it from a year ago. August, October. Let me see if I can pull up. Here we go. This is last year's report.
Wow.
So Pokemon, which is just one category, still light years ahead. But if you add sports, all the sports, at least for PSA, the sports is absolutely more. CGC, completely dominated by Pokemon. Beckett, looks like if you add that all up, it's probably more sports than it is Pokemon. SGC, dominated by baseball, of course. No tag information on here. But this is the report from a year ago. Is this trend going to stick, do you think? Do you think we'll continuously see more and more and more Pokemon cards get graded? Or, which we can segue into our next conversation about the Pokemon market, will we see the the Pokemon kind of fizzle off and the sports kind of rise?
It's always going to be in waves. I think once I see, like, as you know, I'm fairly new into the Pokemon. Like, I've probably been doing it
almost a year and a half now, wouldn't you say?
Actually, yeah, a year and a half ish. So, and I got in right before it was hot, thank God. But I don't know how trends work necessarily as well as you might, but it almost feels like it's here to stay.
I think the vintage stuff, I'll just kind of go over a couple things that I often say to people. Vintage stuff will always have its own market. It'll always have its own safety net in terms of value. Like, the vintage isn't going to crash overnight because they're not printed anymore, obviously. 151 is the modern day evolutions. I wasn't collecting Pokemon in 2016. I didn't know the evolutions hype, but that was a huge wave of Pokemon resurgence just because the game was coming out. Pokemon Go game was coming out at the time, 20th anniversary. So there's just so much going on in Pokemon. And then you fast forward to 151, very nostalgic set, new school cards for old school Pokemon. That brought a lot of people back in. And then ever since Prismatic Evolution, really, it's just been Pokemon. And we're coming up on a year, roughly, of when Prismatic Evolutions was released. And over the course of that year, the market has been absolutely insane. So actually, no, Surging Sparks came out in November. I'm sorry. This was when Prismatic Evolution was announced, was this time. And that's when things really kind of shifted. But I mean, I oftentimes hear and see people mentioning, oh, the market is collapsing. The market's going down. Oh, blah, 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 blah. But I don't want to say it's rule 101 marketing here, but the market always goes up and the market always goes down. It ebbs and flows. And if you can't stomach looking at your collector portfolio being down over a week, then maybe you shouldn't be in this, because if you look at it a year from now, it's going to be up. That's just the nature of it. So I don't know. Is there another hot thing that's coming out? I know we've joked a bunch about Labubus and whatever, but like, I don't know. I'm seeing videos and stuff online of people like returning ETBs to Walmart, like Journey Together ETBs. I think I saw a video of somebody returning a bunch of White Flare ETBs to Walmart because they can't sell them. I'm like, then don't buy them. Then don't buy them if you can't sell them. Maybe you're just a crappy reseller.
Right.
Ever
Maybe
thought
you
about that?
helping.
Exactly. I mean, because the way I look at it, almost any Pokemon product card should be able to be quote unquote resellable. I just found this market, and I guess this would be a good segue into our Pokemon market discussion. Is I shared this on my story, I think yesterday. Modern Pokemon trending down. You would be astonished if I told you 3 months ago that all these Pokemon cards are going to be down. Would you believe me? Probably not, just because of what was happening. Well, let's take a look at it. Tyranitar down. Roaring Moon EX down. Well, hold on. Let's see. This was 291, so that's a $50 drop. 289 to 247, a $40 drop. 160 to 134, almost a $30 drop. Another almost $30 drop. The Greninja from, I can't see what that arrow, what is that, 4? No, that's 378. This is only a 20-ish dollar drop. I mean, that's a steep $20 drop. Jesus. Here's Garchomp here. Was that 305? So that's almost a near $50 drop. Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Probably the chase card of, I don't want to say 2025 because you got the Umbreon that came out. But one of the top 3 chase cards of 2025, I would say. This damn thing dropped nearly, was that $70? Is that a 5? I can't tell if that's a 5. Bubble Mew. Everyone loves their Bubble Mew. That's down almost near $100. Gengar VMAX. This thing was going crazy. Is that $1,500 to $800?
That has to be the wrong picture.
That's
not that one.
That I agree with you, but that's absurd. I mean, as long as the numbers are correct, that's absurd. So, I mean, these are chase cards from sets, popular cards that people have been buying in over the last few months, and they're all down. And of course, they're not showing us the ones that are going up because, of course, there's still cards that are going up. But my takeaway from this, and I'm interested to get yours, is ebbs and flows. It's gonna go down. It'll go up. It'll go up, and it'll go down. But like, if people can't stomach this, then why even bother? Because not everything is 100% safe investment. There's always risk with any investment.
You know the answer to that.
I do.
Yeah, it's all the flippers.
You're
they need
wrong.
to be in and out in like 5 minutes. If they hold on longer than a week, then they get scared and say that the sky is falling and everything's crashing. It's funny because the people who flip and scalp and all that have no idea how markets work. They just see a hot product, they try to flip it. So
Yeah, so that Gengar, I'm glad you pointed that out. The Gengar VMAX is the Prize Pack Series 1. Apologies for the wrong card. So the wrong card was posted. But still,
Prize Pack Series 1.
I've never heard of it. I'm guessing it's like a tournament card. I'm guessing that they're kind of going over with those numbers. Either way, a $700 drop is insane. We've seen that the 151 Charizard is going down. We've seen the Moonbreon's been going down from Evolving Skies. We've seen the Pikachu from Surging Sparks going down. We've seen the Magikarp going down. I mean, we've seen sealed products going down. And I meant, and someone responded to this exact post, actually, mentioning this happens every year around this time. The holidays are coming up. People are selling off their stuff to afford gifts for Christmas and the holidays. And I'm like, that's a great way to look at it. I never thought of that. So as we gear towards Thanksgiving, as we gear towards Christmas and the holidays, we could probably expect more of this trending downwards to happen until we get probably past New Year's and into 2026. Then you get the tax money that's going to kind of hit. People are going to probably, spend an arm and a leg extra money that they shouldn't to inflate the market back up, because there's going to be an insane set that comes out then too. It's all the same.
I mean, it's almost like what?
What?
What were you about to say?
Oh no, I was done.
Oh, but yeah, it's we have what is it now, the 30th anniversary coming next year, so
Mm-hmm.
that'll be something. I'm sure they'll be pumping something out there.
And we haven't got any announcements, updates, leaks, pictures, names, nothing for 30th. So whenever that does come out, expect the set before it to suck in terms of no one's going to buy it. No one's going to touch it. It's just like,
Why is that a thing?
well, I think Journey Together, when it first came out, really got bad rap because Prismatic Evolution just came out. And then you also had the Blooming Waters kind of set. I still think Journey Together is a really good set. I'm in the minority on that, and I'm happy
I
to
think
say
so.
that.
I mean,
Then you had Journey Together come out in, what was it, March? But then you had like a second wave of Prismatic coming out in April, was it? And then you had like Black and White come out in like May or June, I think it was. Damn. See, I mean, that's just one of many cool cards of that set. Is that Shrouded? What was it? No. Surging Sparks. 3 or 4 days before Surging Sparks came out, Prismatic Evolutions was announced. So yes, there was still some hype and build up for Surging Sparks, but it immediately dissipated once Prismatic Evolutions was announced. It's just how it is. I hate how they announced the new set a couple days before the next set. Like we already got leaks for the next set, I think a couple days ago.
Stupid. The Gengar set, right?
Yep. Stupid. Calm down, dial it back, let the new set sit for a week or two, and then you can announce and pump up the new set. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely awful.
Look, yeah, because Phantasmal Flames officially comes out tomorrow, right?
Yes, and I think that's what's in those boxes back there. I got to double check.
Really?
I got to double check. That's what should be in there. So I'm excited to go through that.
Yeah, I've already seen like the chase card that Charizard come back graded. I've already seen 10s out there.
I think there was a 10 that sold for like 4,800, and then there was one that sold for like 5,000, a smidge over 5,000. And I understand that there's pre-release, tournaments and such and going on, but like people are taking that card, getting it graded, fast tracking it. PSA is grading that card as fast as it's ever graded a card in their life, and pumping it into the market, inflating a market that technically doesn't exist.
Why was I under the impression that they don't grade until the set's officially out?
I heard that too, and I think that's for sport. They made that announcement in regards to sports cards because breakers were getting these boxes early, a couple days early. Chase card would be pulled. They would fast track it, send it in, and they're like, "Oh no, we don't grade a set until the release day." So I've heard that too, and I think that's just in regards to sports cards. But the official release, like you said, is tomorrow for Phantasmal Flames. However, like I said, the pre-release stuff has already happened. So it's like that gray, murky water of, oh, is it out? Is it not out? Who knows? But $5,000 for a PSA 10 of that card. Artwork looks awesome. Don't get me wrong.
The card is pretty sick.
But $5,000 though?
That's just people who want to be the first to have it.
I mean, maybe, but holy crap! I'm really curious to see the direction of Pokemon as we head further towards the holidays, through the holidays, and then after the holidays. I'm really curious to see where a lot of these numbers are at, where the percentages are at, and how much money people have lost, to that point. It's going to be really interesting to kind of really take a look at when we sit down and do our first couple episodes into 2026.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. Wow. Okay. So shill bidding, Ricky. Whether we like it or not, it's a thing. And it's inflationary tool that people use to generate false perceptional numbers. So this is an article that actually came out a couple days ago on Collect. Not the biggest fan of the background of Collect. It's a story for another day, but they do bring some good articles to the site, so that's fine. Shill bidding controversy sparks debate in the hobby. What constitutes shill bidding? Do auction houses allow it? Is it illegal? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I think that this article has a little bit of length to it, so we can kind of stop throughout, and then we can kind of just discuss along we go. The hottest topic in the hobby this month has been the debate over shill bidding after high-profile collector Patrick Ryan confirmed he had bid on his own item in a Fanatics Collect auction. I mistakenly bid on my own item. Oh, goodness gracious. Oops, sorry. Which is actually very different than shill bidding, said Ryan, a well-known sports card and memorabilia collector based in Houston. What's that?
No, I just lied.
Oh, here we
How's
go.
that different from shill bidding?
How do you accidentally though? Like you have
Like, is
to
there
have
no
a separate burner account to bid on your own item. Now I don't know how Fanatics Collect's site works. Maybe you can bid on your own item with your own account. I don't know. But like if you were to try that on eBay, you need to have a separate account. So you need to be logged into that account. Just so happen to look up your own card and place an obnoxious bid on your own card.
like it's like and assume it's not like whatnot where all you do is swipe to bid. Like there probably is a step or two in between.
That's, hey, how much do you want to add? Are you sure? If you win this, you have to pay this. Just a bunch of guardrails that way. But all right. I mistakenly bid on my own item, which actually, I already read that. The debate intensified following Ryan's appearance on a podcast with Dr. James Beckett, published November 3rd. Beckett is the creator of the hobby's Beckett Price Guide, which later spawned Beckett Media, blah, blah, blah. The podcast largely covered the nuances of shill bidding, which requires intent from the bidder to be considered a crime, as well as other controversial auction mechanisms, including hidden reserve prices. There are complex topics with detailed nuances, so Collect is here to provide an overview of key questions and the answers. What happened? Ryan posted an Instagram story in which he was talking about his own card, an autographed 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan sticker, in a Fanatics Collect auction. Some followers noticed the word outbid was across the item, meaning Ryan himself had bid on a card he owned. Oh, I see. He was exposed. What was Ryan's response? Ryan initially said he did not bid on the item to boost up its value. Quote, I am sorry for bidding carelessly in many auctions, Ryan said in an Instagram story Monday. Quote, as a collector, one should be very deliberate in their approach to buying. It's wrong to not be more careful, end quote. Do you think it could be real an actual mistake? Or do you think it's a bunch of bogus?
The fact that he said I'm sorry for bidding carelessly in many auctions.
I think he's just blindly just bidding. Boom, 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 boom. It's
I think that's bullshit. Someone that big has to know what they're doing.
especially at that price. I feel like if you're bidding on this kind of a card at whatever price that it's valued at, or at least valued at the time of the auction, you're probably bidding on either similarly priced cards or cards still worth more than just a couple bucks that you'd probably see,
Right.
$10 sales, $50 sales, stuff like that. Why was he allowed to bid on his own item? This will answer my biggest question. At most auction houses, consigners are not allowed to bid on their items. However, Ryan was able to get a bid on his card in the auction because he assigned it to Acquire, which then brought it to Fanatics Collect. So Fanatics Collect technically didn't know the card was Ryan's. So this guy's using a middleman to consign it on Fanatics Collect. So why not just consign it to Fanatics Collect or just send it to Fanatics Collect yourself?
Because you can't bid on it.
I feel like this Acquire now. There's no justification for bidding on the card yourself. That shouldn't happen. But the fact that this Acquire company, hey, we'll take your card, we'll consign your card, sure, and then they secretly backdoor it to Fanatics Collect. So maybe this Ryan guy was thinking that. But how do you mix up like, oh, that's just not the card that I sent out. Let me still bid on it anyways. That's. I feel like you're right. There's a lot of nonsense here. Ryan again said he did not bid on the item to boost its value, but he also said once he realized it was his card, he should have contacted both Acquire and Fanatics Collect. Fanatics Collect responded by pulling the item from the auction. Ryan told Collect Tuesday his account has been restricted from bidding at Fanatics Collect, but he is unsure how long that will last. Fanatics Collect will ban you or at least restrict you for bidding on your own item, and it'll probably lift the restriction in time, but Whatnot won't restrict a breaking company for making inappropriate comments about that whole story from beginning of the year. Interesting. Okay. Quote, Fanatics Collect does not comment on individual cases, end quote. The company told Collect, quote, trust and integrity are at the core of our platform, and we take appropriate steps to uphold such principles, end quote. A spokesperson for Acquire told Collect the company won't comment on individual cases, but did say, quote, we don't condone bidding on our own items under any circumstances. What is shilling? We all know what shilling is. Is it legal? The Federal Trade Commission defines shill bidding as illegal, quote, when fraudulent sellers or their partners known as shills bid on sellers' items to drive up the price, end quote. The intent is the key, and that adds to the complexity of the question. In some states, auctioneers are allowed to bid on items they auction, at least until it hits the consignor's reserve price. Depending on what state it is in, the reserve price doesn't have to be disclosed. In some states, you can shill bid legally. Interesting. That I didn't know. I don't really care about that. What are the rules at other prominent auction houses?
I guess that kind of makes sense. So,
I mean, as long as it's the reserve, right?
If it doesn't hit the reserve, it's not going to sell anyways.
So why not just start it at the reserve? Because I mean, if the reserve isn't disclosed, it makes more sense if the reserve is not disclosed, which oftentimes it isn't. Huh. This story just gets interesting and interesting. Is having a friend bid on something common? Yes. Although considered unethical, it happens frequently in the business. This often happens because auction houses discourage reserves or have reserves below the price that someone is willing to sell it for. Is price protection a form of shilling? Again, the definition of shilling is a fluid one. Cards are often priced protected that is inflated to hit a market number, and often those who bid hope they don't wind up with the card. So big takeaway here. Shilling is allowed in some states. Didn't know that. How does an accident happen where you're bidding on your own card? I still want to know how he came across the listing, saw it, didn't realize that it was his card, and put a bid in and be like, oh crap, that's my card I just put a bid on. Right. So like, that's at least if he's innocent. I don't think he is. I think there's some fishy play here.
Is there a picture or something of the listing of the card?
No. No, that's another article. Yeah, no, we got no pictures, no nothing of the card. Just autograph 1980. Let's see if I Google this. If I Google this, shill bid. No, it just brings me back to the article.
Yeah, because
very interesting.
The listing was pulled, so it's not going to show up anywhere.
So, how often do you think shill bidding actually happens?
All the time.
All the time.
For sure.
Now, even if a reserve, like on eBay specifically, and I don't know how other auction houses work or if there's a fee built in. You know, with eBay, there's usually a fee associated to setting a reserve. Do you think if that fee was lifted, do you think that would help cease most shill bidding? Because I think shill bidding is always going to be a thing, regardless.
No, I think so. Well, obviously, want the most for their items, so that's nothing's going to stop them from making fake accounts or having friends bid on them or bidding their own item through a consignor.
I still want to. Was he allowed? No. Did not bid on it. Account was restricted. Bidding carelessly at most are not allowed to bid on their items. However, Ryan was able to bid on his card in the auction because he consigned it. It's a weird story. It's very, very weird. Very weird story. But moral of the story, I think, don't shill bid. Unless you want to set a reserve, that's fine. because apparently shill bidding is legal in some states. I don't know if it's legal in Illinois or Rhode Island. I don't know. Don't put your card up for sale if you're not willing to sell it for whatever price it may sell for. Obviously, we hope that it sells for hundreds and thousands of dollars, but if it ends up selling for only $13, then, well, don't be the guy that cancels it because, oh, I lost the card, or you're canceling it for whatever reason. Just don't be that person, I think is the big point to take away here.
Well, the worst are the people who cancel auctions because it didn't like meet the minimum number that they wanted, but they don't set a reserve because it costs money.
Yep. And then we obviously have to make sure we, identify the people that will bid on an item, win the item, and then, oh, my son bid on that. Oh, that was an accident. Oh, can you please cancel? Like, so it goes both ways. There's guilty parties on both sides. Again,
Sure.
just like with place, putting up an item for auction, if you place a bid on that auction, make sure you're willing to pay for it. It just comes down to ethics at the end of the day. Alrighty. What else do you want to talk about here? You want to talk about the James Wood? 1 of 1.
Real quick. So this card has been not talked about for over a year since he made his debut August 2024. And it's now finally cut. What?
No, I'm just trying to do the math in my head since James Wood got called up and such.
Either July or August 2024, something like that. But,
keep going.
Yeah, they finally unveiled what the 101 patch debut is going to look like, and it's finally in products now. Well, the product now.
You're going to be buying a bunch of Topps Chrome?
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, probably.
Watch, you'll pull one, but it's going to be of some schmuck you've never ever heard of.
I mean, that'd still be cool, but...
I agree.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to chase a decent amount of money.
I mean, they all do. I mean, what was it? Some like no names from last year were even selling for like a couple $1,000s. So, I mean, James Wood is one of the upper echelon of younger players in this league, and especially of the rookie class last year. But I mean, would we be surprised if it sells for like 80,000 or something like that? Not at all. I mean, it's obviously not going to touch Paul Skeen's numbers. I don't think anybody's going to touch Paul Skeen's numbers.
No.
I mean, but it would be insane, like you said, to just pull any guy. I mean, if you pull anybody, do you keep it? Do you sell it? Do you try to contact the guy? I'd probably try to contact the guy. I think that's what
whoever pulls the James one.
No. Like if I was to pull some random players, one.
Right.
I'd probably try to contact them and meet up and photo op exchange and all that fun stuff that you see online. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you see pictures and videos of those players receiving or buying their own thing, and it's kind of cool. Like that card means a lot to them, so it would be nice to get it in their own hands. But James Wood, if I get yours, I am never giving it to you.
Would you like show it to him and like meet him and be like, hey, I can't sell it to you. I don't want to trade it to you, but I at least want to show it to you. Like, I feel like at that point he would probably be like, it's right here. Like, I'm willing to give you whatever for it. I want it. He might not even want it. He could be like, screw it, whatever. Oh, I'm sure there's players out there that could care less about baseball cards.
Yeah, he's a very nonchalant, chill guy. He'll be like, oh, that's cool.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And just kind of, brush it off. Right. But yeah, I mean, it would be super cool to I think have that experience to go down, because it would probably happen in like spring training or whenever it happens, meet the guy and all that fun stuff. But like, just imagine the adrenaline rush pulling it, or any card, any pro debut card. Just, oh my God. I would be nuts right now. Alrighty. Let's see. Today we talked about the grading report, James Wood, Drake May, shill bidding. Talked about the Pokemon crash. Since we're sticking with baseball, Shohei Ohtani. arguably, actually not even arguably anymore, the best player in baseball at this moment. Another World Series, back-to-back World Series. Is he in the? Did they announce MVP yet? I don't think they did. Is that tonight? Tomorrow?
They just did Cy Young yesterday, so yeah, that might be tonight actually.
Chances are he's gonna win. I think chances are pretty good.
He's
so. You saying he is?
Yeah.
What does that do for his market? Does that blow it up even more? Does it not do anything? Off season's here. Does it go down just because it's off season?
So
there's so much to talk about here.
That 3 home run, 10 strikeout game was peak. Like, that was the highest I've ever seen it, and that's the highest it's been since. Even after the World Series, it's gone down. I've seen listings for lower than what they sold for after that game. So it's just like, it takes this dark performance like that for his cards to go up now. Like MVPs, at this point, they're already factored in. World Series, they're already factored in. It's not much more he can do to make his prices go up.
I mean, what more can he do to make his status as one of the best players ever continue? Was he going to have to hit 4 home runs and throw a perfect game in the same game? Like, I mean, what more does he have to do to kind of cement himself on that pedestal above everybody else? Because I feel like for a while it was like Judge or Ohtani, especially when Ohtani was just hitting, Judge or Ohtani. I mean, that was such a good conversation. And as great as Judge is and as great of a season he had, arguably MVP as well. I mean, Shohei Ohtani, now that he's pitching and able to throw 10 strikeouts, it's going to make a difference in the argument for Ohtani, and plus his legacy moving forward. I mean, especially if he's able to come back from a second Tommy John, throwing 10 strikeouts, maybe as he gets older, have a role in the bullpen like Roki Sasaki did this year. And as you see a lot of veteran pitchers come to have in the playoffs. I don't know what else he could do for his market. I mean, we sit here all the time and look at players who have inflatedly high markets for no reason. Luka's a big example. He's done ultimately nothing in his career, and his market is still higher than players who have won MVPs and won championships. Ohtani's done all that and more, and it's high for a very good reason, and a reason that makes sense. But you're right. What more can he do? At what point do we hit the top, the peak of the market? And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
After you just brought up Luka, I just realized he's basically the NBA's Joe Burrow.
At least Joe Burrow's. Oh, I know Luka's been to a finals. Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say at least Joe Burrow's been to a finals, but Luka has too. Got smoked. At least Joe Burrow almost won the Super Bowl. But that's a great comparison, actually, because you can't say that about Herbert. I feel like Herbert would also be a good little comparison, but Herbert's done really nothing.
Right.
1 or 2 playoff appearances, maybe. Wow, that's a really. Who's gonna win first? Joe Burrow or Luka Doncic? Who's winning? Who's gonna win an MVP first, and then who's winning their title first?
I mean, Luka looks pretty good there. Yeah.
You're right.
It'll come down to the same. It'll come down to the same 3 players: Jokic, Giannis,
SGA. SGA. I have him in fantasy.
I hate watching that guy play basketball.
So I had the 3rd pick in my draft. Not to go on a tangent here. Wemby and Jokic were already taken. So I had Luka, SGA, and I picked SGA. And I'll tell you why. Because I had Luka the year before. And he was great when he was healthy. But there was 2 months where he wasn't healthy. Missing games here and there with the injury that he had. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. SGA was healthy the entire season. He ended up winning MVP. Big run. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the guy that has health, who plays and puts up similar points and stats. So that's what I did. But Luka is dropping 40 points almost every other night. And SGA isn't. So kicking myself there. All right, Ricky, are you going to Collecticon? Let's talk about a couple shows here. Where's Collecticon? Is that the Chicago one?
No, this is in New Jersey, actually.
New Jersey. Oh, that's right, because it's the same, or no, it's like back-to-back weekends from that in EC3.
Yeah, so I'll be I'll be at the New Jersey one. I'm flying into Boston next Wednesday.
Hell yeah, look at you. Wait, so how are you gonna get to
Yeah.
New Jersey?
So I'm staying in Boston for a couple of days and then driving down to Philly with my brother to stay with a friend who lives there. And then we're all going to go to Collecticon. So
Hell
because
yeah.
it's only like an hour or so away.
Is your brother bringing the camera with him?
Yeah, probably.
Hell yeah. That's gonna be exciting.
That'll be fun.
What kind of plays are you trying to make there?
That's a good question.
Sealed,
I'm gonna
slab.
try. I'm gonna try to not buy any more Articunos.
That's a lie. You may not try to buy them, but you will end up buying them because you're gonna see
I'm gonna
somebody have
try.
it for $15. You're gonna be like, wow, that's such a great price.
Well, that's what they're at right now. Like, if I see one for 15, I'm not gonna say no.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I might try to buy some more raw to build up another submission before my subscription ends.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
PSA.
Still on the fence about renewing it?
Yeah, I would need to see their sale.
That's fair. I feel like you can get by, especially if you're predominantly focused on Pokemon at this given time. Like I feel like you can get by without the card ladder aspect of it because
Right.
like how many submissions are you doing doesn't make sense for the PSA submission if you just look at the PSA value of it. That's a question only you can really answer. Of course, the card ladder pays for itself, but you can look up cards with collector, with price charting. If they're graded, you could look them up with alt. Of course, you can use eBay or TCG Player. So there's plenty of platforms out there to look up Pokemon cards, both graded
Right.
and raw, that you don't need card ladder. So if you're gonna get your value, your money's worth with grading with PSA, then sure, yeah, it makes absolutely sense to get the subscription, and then you get card ladder thrown on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be curious to see what you do.
No, that's my state of mind too, because there's so many more ways to look up prices now that, like you said, you don't need card ladder. So it's just really one of the better tools, but it can settle for other ones if it means not paying for them. But yeah, I'll probably try to build another submission before this one ends.
I was gonna say if you're doing like go ahead.
That'll probably be my play. Looking for raw singles.
Because if you're doing a submission every month and you're buying, selling, trading sports and Pokemon, then yeah, it makes all the sense in the world because you can't look up sports cards on TCG Player or price charting or the collector app. You'd have to go to eBay or 130 Point or whatever. So, I mean, again, since you're just doing mostly Pokemon cards, if you do come across a sports card that you want, how much of an inconvenience is it to look it up on eBay or look it up on 130 Point? Or if it's graded, you can still use alt for that purpose. So I think I know what you're going to do, but I'm not going to say it. I'll wait till the decision's made. But yeah, CollectCon is going to be fun. It's probably going to be more fun than my experience from Comic-Con this past weekend, which okay, first of all, the people that attend Comic-Con, the most dedicated fans of pop culture I've ever seen. The amount of cosplay outfits that I saw, awesome. Some of them sucked. Majority of them were awesome. I forget where I heard this, but like Comic-Con is a place where you can go get dressed up as your favorite character and you'll look cool and no one's making fun of you. But if you go to a sports card show dressed up as your favorite player, like you just look like a dork, like a geezer. Like, oh, you're dressed up as LeBron James, like original. Like I don't know.
Yeah, we're not talking no jersey. We're talking full uniform.
Oh yeah. You need the jersey, you need the shorts, the sneakers, the arm sleeve, the headband. Yeah, you got to have full commit because these people at Comic-Con, their costumes probably cost a few $100s minimum, and it is absolutely awesome. So if I was attending Comic-Con as a fan, I would have had a blast. I feel like I don't know if I would have bought anything or walked away with anything, but I would have had at least a blast. Now, as a vendor, I knew what I was getting myself into, bringing cards to a non-card show. The cards did okay. I sold some Pokemon boxes. I sold a couple odds and end boxes. I sold some cards. But I think for the expenses that I had to pay, which was just the table and lunch, since it was so close, it wasn't a total disaster. But if it was a show where I had to pay for the table, pay for some kind of travel, lodging, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it would have been an absolute disaster. Will I set up there again? Probably not. But I do like the idea because I was able to do a lot of marketing. Hey, I got a shop 20 minutes away. Come check us out. Hey, I got a shop 20 minutes, come check us out. Follow us here, subscribe there, blah, blah, blah. I could have done a lot of that. And I did do a lot of that, which was fun. So pros and cons have to get weighed. But if I had to pick right now, I probably wouldn't. But man, I would love to still go as at least an attendee. That would have been super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple tables that had cards. I was maybe one of a dozen, 10 to 12 tables maybe that had cards. But I'll tell you this, a lot of people who had cards, their prices were way up there. ETBs that are $80, $85 were $100 to $120. Generic hollows that are probably $1 or $2 or $10. So it's definitely something to be careful of.
People like that are trying to pull a fast one on collectors and attendees, thinking like, oh, they don't know too much about the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get this cute Eevee card that's worth $2 and put it as 10, and they'll just see it as a cute Eevee card.
Some mother is going to buy it for their daughter who really likes Eevee so much. No, I agree with you. It's a terrible tactic, but it's a tactic that unfortunately works. EC3 Con's coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. So I'll be next time we record for Hobby Tie. I gotta look at the schedule actually. We're gonna have to record before or after, probably after Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Thanksgiving's coming up because I'm not gonna be here at the shop Monday or Wednesday. So our next episode we can sit down and record can be on the 4th, Thursday the 4th, if that works for you. Then we're gonna have Chris. Yeah, we'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. Whatever. The next time we sit down and record will be after EC3 Con for me. So I'll be able to dive into my thoughts, experience, feelings, and all that jazz about the current landscape of Pokemon, sports cards, card shows, and such then. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. As I sit here right now, Ricky, I'll be honest, I am not hopeful that it's going to go well from just a market perspective. And I'll tell you why. We just went over not that long ago how the cards are trending down. Prices are trending down. The bubble is seeping. The market's crashing. I think these vendors aren't going to have prices adjusted appropriately. Whether that trajectory continues down from here to then, or if it just flatlines from here to then. The market is still down because they probably bought it so high to begin with, at market, close to market, over market. So they're going to be charging the prices where they can still profit off of it, regardless what the current state of the market is. A few shows ago, a card would be selling for 100, but they would be charging 125 for it because they're bracing for the market to continue to go up, even though that's the wrong way of thinking. So where the market's now trending down, I think they're going to have their prices set at yesterday's market, so to speak. Not literally yesterday, but yesterday's prices, so to speak. So I'll break it all down when I get back. We sit down to record. We'll see how that goes. Hey, since you'll be in the area, you should come by. How long are you in Boston for? Thanksgiving?
I'll be in Massachusetts next Wednesday and Thursday. And then we drive down to Philly Friday morning.
And then are you heading out from there back to Chicago?
Yeah, I'm flying out of Philly.
That'll be fun. Damn, yeah. just missed EC3 Con. What a shame. Before we wrap up. Oh, go ahead.
I tried to see if it'll work out, but it didn't.
Well, hopefully your flight doesn't get canceled or delayed. But before we get to our outgoing takes, you wanted to talk about Panini for a second, based off of the topics that we kind of threw out there. This is news to me, so you're gonna have to take the lead on this one because I've tell me about Panini possibly for sale. Interesting.
Just a quick recap. I guess Panini's parent company was exploring sales of Panini.
Who's their parent company? I thought Panini was its own thing. Panini International or whatever.
I don't know.
I gotta look it up. Keep going.
But I just think it would be crazy if they got sold to Top. Created a little bigger monopoly, but it would be cool to see like licensed Bundy autos and like because they could revive Prism and all that stuff with their own licensing.
Wow, talk about a monopoly.
Yeah.
Panini America's parent company is, take a guess, Panini Group. An Italian company that produces books, comics, magazines, stickers, trading cards, and other items through its collectibles and publishing subsidiaries. Its headquarters is in Italy. So, real generic. Interesting. So, I guess the Panini Group would sell off Panini America because they just want to be done with it.
Right.
I can't blame them. I mean, look at all the licenses they lost. What are they going to make? I mean, I can't think of off the top of my head what they're going to make. I mean, they can still make football cards, which is fine. Maybe they're trying to sell it while they still have the license for football to kind of just make it more appealing. But any law firm that looks into this, backing up whoever's going to possibly buy Panini America, is going to be like, hey, you guys are going to lose this license in April. So do you really want to pay all this money to buy it? It's not like they're going to get the license back for any of the stuff that Fanatics taken over, just because of the length of those contracts are fairly long. Interesting. Panini is crumbling again and more right before our very eyes. Shame. And it's all their fault. It's only their fault. So yeah, we'll definitely keep tabs on that. See if anything matriculates from that. I'm definitely gonna be curious to see. I joked around the beginning before we started recording. Oh, maybe I'll buy Panini America, but that's a pipe dream. I don't even know what I would do with it. What would I even do? Make cards?
Right, that's the thing. There's not much you can do with it.
I'll make trading cards about Murph's Card Town. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. All right. Anything you want to touch upon before we roll into our final thoughts? If not, jump right into them. What was it?
Yeah, I think you touched on everything, but let's see. Buy James Wood, except for the patch auto, because that's mine. Yeah, I guess to touch upon the thing we talked about earlier, if you want a card, buy it. Because you don't know how long it'll be. Wish I jumped on the Drake May card that I wanted sooner. It's probably out of my reach for now, but yeah. If you want a card, just get it. Don't worry about paying 70% or so.
I like that. Just buy the card. I mean, you're paying. I mean, all these sales that we see, record sales, somebody overpaid comps for that card to make that record sale. It's okay if you pay $110 for a $100 card. It's okay, especially if you want it. But no, I mean, I couldn't agree more with you. Just buy the damn card. And I did remember what I was going to say about my outgoing take was, Pokemon is taking over the grading landscape just by storm across all levels, all platforms, all graders, with the exception of SGC, but they're having their own problems and issues right now. Record lows amount of cards that are being submitted to SGC. If their turnaround time isn't 5 business days for the economy tier, they're doing something even furtherly wrong. But yeah, sports cards have taken a backseat in the grading scene, even with PSA guys. It's not just a CGC or a SGC or tag thing. Sports cards just, I think in general, have taken an absolute backseat, making some cards affordable. I guess in Ricky's case, Drake May cards unaffordable. But that's okay. It's all ebbs and flows. It's all about the market. It comes and goes. And we'll see what the market looks like 6 months from now in terms of Pokemon versus sports, price points, and all that jazz. So that is going to wrap it up for today's episode. It's been an awesome episode. We talked about so much stuff today. We'll get back to you guys. Ricky and I will figure out when we're going to sit down and record next episode, make a post about it to inform you guys. But thank you guys so much for clicking on this video, watching this episode. Smash the thumbs up button, comment your question, thoughts, comments, concerns, anything like that down below. Subscribe to the channel, check out the channel membership program. I've queued up an excellent video that's going to cover Ricky's face right now. So hopefully you guys click on that, and I will see you in that video. Bye, guys.
See ya.